and welcome to Rugby Talk with Sami. I'm going to be honest, I much prefer doing these when we have won, but I'm a professional. Anyway guys, let's talk about Ireland versus South Africa, the clash of the titans. Before the game, I said it feels like the build-up to a final to me. Like, it's serious business, and I was not wrong. It felt like a final. It was a spectacular game of rugby. Tough as nails. You know what I'm saying? The game felt a bit slow to me. There was lots of errors on both sides, so the flaky was heeltyd blasting, and there was lots of standing around. It was very slow. But the reason why there were so many mistakes from both sides isn't a bad thing. It's a good thing. It means that we both put so much pressure on each other that we forced each other to make mistakes. And through the whole 80 minutes of this game, it could have gone either way. And that is what great rugby should be. Now let's talk about what is on everybody's lip area, alright? The kicking game. Look, we've known this is a problem. We spoke about it when we played Scotland. You can't go into a World Cup without a specialised kicker. Okay, as much as I love hardloop rugby and Tria, when you play against a world-class team like Ireland, they're not going to invite you over the try line. They're not going to be like, kom druk 'n 3, jy's welkom. Not going to happen. In a lot of finals, there's no tries, and you are reliant on your kicking game. With that being said, I am almost 100% sure that our coaches and Rassie and Nienaber, I'm sure they have a plan. I think they started planning this World Cup the second we left 2019 World Cup with the cup under our arm area. Alright? They have a plan. They know what they're doing. We do have an issue when it comes to kickers. And people look at Pollard like he's bloody the Flash or Superman. But he just came back from injury. He didn't have as much time with the squad and to prepare. So everyone asking why didn't they play Pollard this weekend, it makes sense to me. He just came to France and he needs time to get into it, to practice. The thing with Pollard is he's a specialised kicker, and even though he just came from injury and there is questions about what is his performance going to be like, he is a specialised kicker. He has experience, and that's something you can't teach. It's something you learn along the way. And he's very good under pressure. There's a lot of people that's very, very hard on Lebok. And there's also a lot of people who gets angry at the people who's hard on Lebok. And I get both sides. But the thing is, he's young. He plays passionate and amazing rugby. I like the style in which he plays rugby. But he's not a specialised kicker yet. I know he kicks well for the Stormers, but the pressure you get in a World Cup playing for the Springboks is just a different ballgame. There's a lot of things that I have to think about, and I'm sure they have a plan. I have a lot of faith in our team and in our coaches. This loss over the weekend might seem like a big deal, but it can be a good thing. A loss can be a bigger motivator than a win. And I like Ireland. I've always liked them. I like their people, I like their country, I like their rugby, with the limited knowledge that I have of their country. But yo, after this game they are windaarsy, windgat. I don't like that. It works on my nerves, but I know that it stems from the fact that I'm very competitive. I don't know where that comes from because I never played sports. I'm not good at sports. My dad was very good at sports. He played rugby. He was a winger. He boxed. All that things. And then Sami came along. And I looked athletic. And then I started running. And I looked like an epileptic pigeon. Alright? And then my brother was born. Some new hope. Maybe he will get my dad's sporty genes. And then he started running. And he looked like Mr. Bean. So it's not going well. I don't know where my competitiveness comes from. Now, I have no way of feeding my competitive beast because I'm not good at sports, so I live vicariously through the Springboks. The fact that we are world champions is one of the few things we have going for ourselves as a country. You might say, Sami, are you not being a little bit dramatic? Maybe I'm not being dramatic enough, okay? I think in this game, apart from the kicking, there's a lot more positives to take than negatives. It was a fantastic clash. Ireland wasn't perfect, South Africa wasn't perfect, and it would never be perfect if you have two world-class teams going up against each other. You will force each other to make mistakes. And I'm still positive that we can go all the way and bring the World Cup back home. Still positive about that fact. Let's talk about the ref. I see a lot of discussions about the ref, and I hate talking about refs. I hate it. I don't want to seem like I'm blaming the ref every time we lose. It's not a good look. It gives a bit pisgat, you know what I'm saying? And in the first half of this game, I thought this ref is really good. He's consistent. He blows the same for both teams. He's vigilant. In the last part of the second half, I felt like my brain had been fried a bit and maybe I forgot the rules of rugby because I didn't understand what he was blowing for. I didn't understand his calls. In that last play, guys, I don't get it. Okay, we could have had a try there. I still, to this second, don't get what he was doing in that last part of the second half. But to be very clear, the ref isn't the reason we lost the game. The reason we lost the game is because with this much of a margin, Ireland was a bit better on the day. They were better in their kicking. If we had all of our kicks over, we would have won. But the woulda coulda game has no purpose. Could have, we didn't. Not a big deal. Okay, we are going to learn from this because we are good at learning from our mistakes. So, no, it's not the ref's fault that we lost. But it is frustrating. The inconsistency in officiating is frustrating because when it comes to the quarterfinals, semi-finals and finals, if a ref makes a call that completely dictates the outcome of the game and it's a questionable call, that is frustrating. Not just if it's for the Springboks, it's for anybody. Like, there needs to be consistency. And we have all this fancy bloody screens and line standers and what. And still, there's a lot of questions. But I guess that's just something that's always going to be there because refs are also people and they're going to miss things. But there's a lot at stake and they need to fix that. With all the technology, it should be easier to have consistent officiating across the board. That's all I'm going to say. I am a bit frustrated, but that's not the reason that we lost. Just to make that clear. I'm not going to sit here crying into my popcorn or track a Mark Williams on myself saying that the ref is against the spirit of the game. Anyway, if you start to feel bad because we lost over the weekend, just remember, could be worse. You could be Australian. I'm sorry, alright? I'm not gonna lie, I did feel very sorry for them. Honestly. Because Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, we have basically all the World Cups between us. I know England won once and it was the worst day of my life, but it just goes to show just because you're great doesn't mean you're going to be great forever. You have to continue working. And it also shows to me how important the vibe of a team is. I always talk about the vibe, and I don't know what else to call it. But if there's like politics or fights or uncomfortableness between the team and between their coach, it's going to have an impact on how they perform. And that is one of my favorite things about this year's squad. We have a great vibe, okay? Rassie is amazing, Ninaber is amazing, Siakulisi is an incredible captain. I feel like we just play better with him there. We have a great squad. And it doesn't matter what happens. I am going to be bankvas after the Springbokke. And we are going to win this World Cup. I have decided. Don't let me down, Bokke. I love you either way, alright? Anyway, that's all I have to say today. Sorry for rambling. My voice is getting away a bit. But I've been yelling a lot over the weekend. Anyway, If you like my hashtag Vlieg in jou moer en bucket hat, you can get yours on my website, www.samuelsays.co.za, for Samuel Says merch. A little bit of shameless self-promotion. Okay, we'll chat again later. And don't take it too seriously. This doesn't mean anything. I think this loss is going to be a motivator for us. Motivator. And I think Ireland's little bit of groot koppe might just bite them in the gut. Go ahead and underestimate us. I dare you. You see, there my competitiveness is coming out again. Let me rather go. Alright, chat again later. Okay, bye.